What is this all about? This team, this season, this coach, this opportunity. What's it all about? Is it about a championship? Well, yes, of course it is. 3 in a row, actually. But it's about so much more than that. It's about legacy. It's about history. It's about dynasty. It's about a fan base that has fallen head over heels in love with the program. No collegiate team, no professional franchise, no one in all of sports is more dominant right now than Oklahoma softball. Big 12 champs, check. Tourney champs, check. Regionals, check. Supers, check. Records, check. A spot in the championship series, check. There's only one check mark left. What is this all about? It's simple, really. This is about finishing it.
Lifted deep to left field. No way! No way! Are you kidding me, Kinsey Hansen? Lose your mind, Sooner Nation! Line drive left field base hit. They'll send Avery Hodge. The ball gets away in left field from Eck. It's 2-0 Sooners on a laser off the bat of Jada Coleman.
Tonight, this group of record breakers and championship chasers continues its quest on the sport's biggest stage. Will the Seminoles steal the moment? Or will the Crimson and Cream finish it? We're about to find out. It's championship time in Oklahoma.
Line to left field, falling fast. It's down. Lions scores. Here comes Torres. She'll score. Riley Boone in with a triple. It's 7-0 Sooners. Line drive, right center field, down for a hit. It's up the alley. The Sooners take the lead. It's a 2-run double from the birthday girl.
It's time for the 2023 Championship Series. It's the Oklahoma Sooners and the Florida State Seminoles. This is what it's all about. Winner take all. Here we go. Live from the softball capital of the world, USA Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. This is Sooner Softball.
Jordy Ball stalks the rubber. Kaylee Mudge digs in from the left side of the plate. Here we go. Will the Sooners make it 3 straight? Will the Noles crash the party? Jordy Ball rocks, fires first pitch. Strike right on the outer edge. And a start time of 8:10 p.m. That is exactly 1 hour from when first pitch was slated to be. No balls and a strike to Mudge. Ball brings it home. Missed a little bit out. Our home plate umpire is Tracy Laycock. Tom Meyer is at first. Don Brown is at second. And Danny Bowman is at third. Don Brown will be the replay umpire. He's wearing the mic, so if either Lonnie Alameda or Patty Gasso challenge a call, it'll be Don Brown at second to give us all the details. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Ball. Just a little bit low, 2 balls and a strike. What do you need to see here early from Jordy Ball?
Strikes and good pitchers when she is ahead in the count. We're seeing Kaylee Mudge be very patient right now to start this game. Florida State is going to really just try to manufacture runs and string things together. So it's so important for Jordy to have 0 free passes and go right after these hitters.
2-1 is fouled back, evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But Jordy, along with that, has got to throw 2 strike pitches. We've seen it on both sides. We've seen some of the OU pitchers at times not have great 2 strike pitches. And we've also seen the Sooners take advantage of some 2 strike pitches. So the 0-2, 2-2, 1-2 is going to be a huge count for Jordy Ball tonight.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Mudge goes down. 1 away.
And that's exactly how you start a game. The rise outside, just flat out getting Mudge to wave. It's a great start for Jordy Ball. That's how you set a tone.
Here's Janai Kerr, the center fielder. Very talented, athletic center fielder. 3 for 9 in this Women's College World Series. Has driven in a couple, scored a run herself, has walked twice. First pitch from Ball is bounced towards second. Cut off by Jennings. Throws across her body to get Janai Kerr at first. 2 away. And when I say bounce towards second, it was legitimately bounced towards the bag. And Jennings went over and made the play, and quickly there's 2 down in the top half of the first.
And I feel like we saw Janai Kerr put a ground ball swing on that pitch. Jordy's really used the rise ball a lot, and we also heard Coach say in the pregame about how this is a team that tries to chop and use the dirt. I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Part of the reason that we also see Tiare Jennings shaded up the middle as much as we do.
Here's Kaylee Harding. First pitch to Harding. Swinging deep to right field. Torres has a beat on it. Makes a basket catch down the right field line in foul territory to end the inning. And Mac Leonard will get the start. She has only thrown 3 of the 20 innings that Florida State has played in the postseason.
Maybe I will eat my words. That's fine. I guess there's a small part. I think it's the competitor in me that's a little bit ticked, going, throw your best, please. But, hey, I don't know this team as well as Coach Alameda.
First pitch is a strike to Jada Coleman. And the numbers in the postseason aren't all that impressive either for Mac Leonard, especially here in the Women's College World Series. In 3 innings, she's allowed a hit, a run, and has walked 2. The righty brings home the 0-1. It's a little bit in, 1 ball and 1 strike.
I guess I just look at this. This is the championship series. You can't play necessarily to give things away. And when you have an All-American pitcher or any other pitcher that doesn't have almost a 3 ERA, maybe that's who you roll with. But
1-1 misses high. We'll go ahead and set that Florida State defense for you. Just underway, scoreless game, bottom of the first inning. Over at first base is the 25-year-old Bethany King. She started her college career at 2016. Her first softball playing year was 2017. The 2-1 is low, ball 3. Flaherty is at second with Josie Muffley at short. Kaylee Harding is drawn in over at third. Mudge is out in left. Janai Kerr, very athletic in center field. Wade Kaser in right. And Edenfield, the talented catcher behind the plate, as Leonard brings home the 3-1 pitch to Jada Coleman, and it's popped pretty deep to right center field. Ranging over, though, is Kerr to make the catch just short of the warning track, and there's 1 away. Jada gave it a ride, but Kerr had a beat on it.
And Jada feels good about it. You can see her. She got a good piece of it and just missed it. But as she's coming back, she had that big grin on her face saying, let's go.
The issue is you're only going to see Leonard for an inning.
Yep.
If even that. If the Sooners put a couple runners on, they'll probably go right to Kat Sandercup. Here's Tiare Jennings. First pitch in for a strike. Jennings, what a comeback for her personally on Monday against Stanford. And now, they're taking the teams off the field. I knew this was a worry as soon as this game got started, man. They're taking the teams off the field. And at 9:02 p.m., we are back underway. Oklahoma and Florida State scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Jennings, a little bit in. 1 ball, 1 strike. So this resumption was at exactly 9:02.
They're spot on the we will resume times.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm impressed.
I just hope that we get to play longer than we did last time. This game was delayed by about an hour as the 1-1 pitch to Tiare is popped down the right field line in foul territory, out of the reach of Keene, the first baseman. Wade Kaser couldn't get there in time. And Jennings falls behind a ball and 2 strikes. The wind is a little bit more significant than it's been all night long, blowing in slightly from center field. Trails Golf Club brings you our weather report online at trailsgolf.com.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm going, the wind is more of a factor right now than it was at 7 o'clock.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch to Tiare. She had a good cut and fouled it straight back.
Say this, Leonard does not have a lot of velocity, but she's going inside. We saw her go inside to Jada Coleman 45 minutes ago, but just went back inside to Tiare Jennings, and she's not an overpowering pitcher velocity-wise, but she's really hammering the inside corner.
Jennings is 3 for 11 with a run scored, and of course the 2 runs batted in the Women's College World Series. Has the 1 home run too. The 1-2 got her swinging 2 away. And here's Haley Lee, who is still looking for her first hit of the Women's College World Series. She's 0 for 8.
And you feel for Haley Lee as if it's about to happen at some point. She has been so red hot this whole postseason. And then we've seen her a couple games here just getting a little bit of a slump, if you will. But really want to see Haley find a way on base. Doesn't matter how she does it. Find a way on base.
First pitch to the right-handed hitting Lee is a little bit out, ball 1. Because the overall numbers are really good for their motorcycle riding Sooner designated player. Transferred here from Texas A&M, making her first collegiate appearance in the Women's College World Series. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Lee. Hit pretty deep to right center field, but Janai Kerr had a beat on it. She's cut off by Waycaser. The right fielder flashed in front of her, and that'll do it for the Sooners.
And to come out here and do. On the other side, I also expect to see Florida State use a lot of pitchers. You've got to stay within yourself and stay with the game plan. I think that that's going to be the biggest key in everything that the Sooners do this evening.
Michaela Edenfeld will lead things off. First pitch, a little bit out, ball 1. Edenfeld has probably made one of the bigger impacts in this postseason. And not just because she's hitting .375 with 2 home runs here in the Women's College World Series, but her makeup routine has gone viral throughout this process. The 1-0 pitch, a little bit low and in, 2 balls and no strikes. It is expansive, to say the least.
It is.
Creative.
And the best part about it, I mean, you take the look or whatever she's going for, which it's awesome, is they're showing her, you know, with young softball players, little kids, you know, doing makeup and doing things and just reaching interests outside of the game a little bit. It's pretty cool.
2-0 pitch misses a little bit up, ball 3. This gets us into that moment where both pitchers coming in off a break. A little bit longer for Jordy just because, you know, she only threw, 7 pitches in the first inning, and then at least in the bottom half there was 1 batter to go through. No excuses, but as the 3-0 pitch heads home, swinging, line back up the middle, base hit. Edenfeld says, I'll go on 3-0. She swung on 3-0 Monday against Tennessee and fouled one off and proceeded to walk on the very next pitch. But in this instance, she got a good piece of bat on that. Lined it back up the middle. First base runner of the game for either team. Here's Devin Flaherty, and might see the bunt in play here.
Yeah, Florida State uses the short game. I'll say this, Edenfeld's numbers on the season only hitting .257, but she's really been hot in this Women's College World Series.
Yeah, first pitch blown away, ball 1. Jordy Ball is now fallen behind the last 2 hitters.
And you hate to bring up the delay, but she was sharp as can be in the first inning, so she's got to get back there, get back in it, and settle in here early.
The 1-0 pitch, blown away, ball 2. Kinsey Hansen's going to jog out here and chat with Jordy Ball. Flaherty has been the leading hitter in the postseason. So for the whole NCAA tournament, Flaherty is hitting .360. This team hits a lot of doubles. She has 2 of them. In the Women's College World Series, Flaherty, though, just 2 for 8. And, of course, her 1 hit is a double. Scoreless game, top of the second inning after 2 lengthy delays. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Flaherty. Ball 3.
Jordy needs to settle down here and A lot of boos from the fans, unhappy about that call, but she's got to find the zone, find a way to quit nibbling on the corners. And I will say this here, be heads up on the 3-0.
Green lights all the way around, it seems like, for Lonnie Alameda's crew. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's a strike, 3-1. First strike Jordy's thrown since we returned from the delay.
This is something this team, I mean, you said it earlier, Plank, the team hasn't really had to deal with delays like this. So I feel like this inning is critical for Jordy. Find a way, get out of this, and then restart, move on, and get in the groove.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Flaherty. Strike 2. Flaherty thought it was ball 4 and started to move down to first base. And after the Florida State Seminole fans were making some noise, the Sooner fans responded. Now they all stand. And wind whips blowing in from center field. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Big pitch here. Ball, swing and a miss. After falling behind 3-0 to Edenfield, she gave up the single. After falling behind 3-0 to Devin Flaherty, she strikes her out. Here's Mac Leonard, who has struggled here in the Women's College World Series, just 1 for 8. In fact, the next 2 batters in this lineup, Waycazer and Leonard, are a combined 2 for 16, and the only hit Waycazer had was a home run on Monday. Leonard first pitch swinging, fouls it, strike 1.
And one thing about this Florida State team offensively, they're not flashy. They absolutely are not. I mean, the numbers will not knock you off your feet, but they rely on sort of that pass the bat mentality and stringing things together. So for Jordy to get the strikeout 3-2 of Flaherty is huge, especially after the leadoff walk.
Hard hit to short, could be 2, will be 2. 6, 4, 3, ring them up, head back to the dugout. Knowles inning over. As we go to the bottom of the second inning of a scoreless game, K9. Kinsey Hansen will lead it off. First pitch from Mac Leonard is low and in for ball 1. With DJ Sanchez, I'm Chris Plank. Yes, we're only in the bottom of the second inning because of a 1-hour delay to get this game started. And then I think what we had tagged at a 42-minute delay. We'll double check that number. Here's the 1-0 to Hansen. Hard hit foul. Kinsey is the team's leading hitter in the postseason. She is 12 for 24. 3 of those 12 hits are home runs. 4 extra base hits. She is second in the NCAA tournament with 11 runs batted in.
And some of those have come in the biggest moments you can possibly imagine.
Here's the 1-1. Pitch missed a little low. 2 balls and a strike.
It's a good take. Leonard took a little bit off of that. And I get the feeling as I'm watching some of these setups, she came inside to Kinsey Hansen as well. She's really working in so she can try to set up the off speed.
2 balls and a strike to Hansen. Sooners looking for their first hit. Hansen got a piece of that and fouled it back.
Freaking little drop ball from Leonard. I know I was a little hot earlier about the pitching, and Leonard is moving the ball well so far in this game, and you've got to know that Florida State has a plan, but she's got pretty good stuff.
2-2 is grounded softly to third. Nice play by Harding, throws and got it. 1 away. Harding has been fantastic all season long, but has committed a couple of errors over there in the Women's College World Series. Looks smooth on that. 1 away.
And one thing for Florida State, and we heard Coach talk about it as well, they are a fundamental team, and they do things well. If they are going to want to take OU the distance, defense is a place that they're really going to have to be sharp, because I feel like we've seen this defense get a little bit sloppy from time to time.
Here's Alyssa Brito. Scoreless game, bottom of the second inning. Brito takes the first pitch for strike 1. Brito hitting .391 in the postseason. It just kind of give you an idea of how, I'm not going to say deceiving, but how less than impressive some of Florida State's numbers in the postseason are. They only have 4 players that are hitting above 300. The 0-1 pitch is in for strike 2. So they only have 4 players hitting over 300 in the entire NCAA tournament. The Sooners in the entire NCAA tournament have a majority of their starters that are hitting over 300. 8 total players. The 0-2, boy, that just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the only player that starts that's hitting below 300 is Grace Lyons. Jada Coleman, 333. Sydney Sanders, 353. Haley Lee, even though she's 0 in the Women's College World Series, still 364 in the postseason. The 1-2 to Brito, a little bit out, 2-2. Brito, by the way, 391 in the NCAA tournament. That would be the leading hitter for Florida State. And she is 5th on the team for Oklahoma amongst the regular players, 6th overall.
I think it really just points to, as well, I mean, this Florida State team, offensively, they're not outstanding as that pitch misses up and out.
Full count.
But they find a way to manufacture runs. That's just what they do. But I think it's also a testament to how good their pitching staff is as a whole.
Yep.
And you know, they don't give up a ton of runs.
So after falling behind 0-2, Alyssa Brito has worked her way back to a full count. The 3-2 pitch is a ripped foul down the left field line and into the stands. Brito saw that one all the way.
Really interested to see how this offense adjusts, because Leonard is just really hammering pitches inside and then using that drop ball out and changing speeds a little bit. But Alyssa Brito, I feel like that's the first pitch on the inner part of the plate that we've really seen a swing be put on it that's close to being on time.
Despite the delays, despite the wait, barely an empty seat in this place.
Nobody's going to work tomorrow.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Brito waits, takes ball 4, turns and fires up her dugout. Here comes Grace Lyons. Sooners' first base runner of the game comes after an 0-2 count on Brito, who fights back to draw the walk. That is the 4th walk of the postseason for Brito. Here is Grace Lyons. Patty Gasso looks at the call sheet. And we see the Sooners get mobile here a bit.
Why not? Try to catch the defense sleeping.
9 of 10 on stolen base opportunities in the NCAA tournament. For Lyons, it's been a bit of a struggle. Here's the first pitch to G3. It's a little bit low, ball 1. Grace just 3 for 19 in the NCAA tournament, but as Lonnie Alameda is going to come out and chat here with Mac Leonard. I brought this up so I put some numbers to it as Brito turns and asks for noise from the crowd, and they bring it. Sooner on deck hitter Sid Sanders along with G3 and Alyssa Brito will huddle with Coach Gasso and Hannah Sparks. Earlier this season, Grace Lyons was out of the lineup. In fact, didn't play the last time the Sooners played Florida State. And when she returned on March 17th after a 1-for-6 slump and then getting healthy, she went on a 9-game hit streak and increased her average from 341 to 422. Also hit 4 home runs in that stretch. On March 1st against Texas through March 11th against LSU, Grace Lyons went 1 for 13, but in the stretch of the next 4 games, went 5 for 11 with a home run and a couple of runs scored. In other words, she bounces back in a big way when there's a bit of a slump. Maybe Monday was the start of that with her double. Meetings are over. Brito back to first. Here's the 1-0 to Grace Lyons. Headed home. Lyons takes ball 2. Off to second goes Brito. The throw is not in time. The ball was in the dirt. Edenfield couldn't get a good grip on it. She threw it, skipped it to second base. Brito didn't get a great jump. I don't think it was a straight steal. She saw it in the dirt and said, let's go get a base.
No, it wasn't a straight steal. It was just good base running, reading the down angle. And she saw it, but as soon as she saw Edenfield bobble it, she took off without any hesitation. It's a big-time play by Brito.
And it's a 2-0 count to Grace Lyons. First runner in scoring position for the Sooners here. Bottom of the second, scoreless game. 2 balls and no strikes. Grace is going to get a good pitch to hit here. Now she takes it a little bit in, strike 1.
Pitch was inside, and I've talked about it so much in this game so far that Leonard is really living on the inner half of the plate, and you could just see Grace Lyons wasn't quite on time for it. It's a pretty good take. Not a lot she was going to do with it.
Here's the 2-1. Ball up, 3-1. That didn't miss by much.
It did not.
One other streak note for Grace Lyons. In 2022, her numbers are amazing from last year. She went on a 2-for-11 skid, proceeded to start a 9-game hitting streak.
Of course she
So
That's what the captain does.
When things go south, they can quickly go north, if you will, for her. Here's the 3-1, strike 2.
And that's that same pitch that we saw Grace take 2-0. I like, though, Alyssa Brito was in an 0-2 count and saw a lot of pitches. Grace Lyons now working to a 3-2 count and seeing a lot of pitches. They're making Leonard throw everything she's got.
Here's a line drive deep down the left field line, off the wall, but foul. That was smoked, and about 4 feet to the left of her shot off Kennedy in the 9th on Monday. Oh, the Sooners are hitting Mac Leonard hard. It is just a matter of time.
And no one's fooled. And I would expect to see something on the outer half unless she is really feeling gutsy to go back in, but it better be in.
3-2 is hit softly to short. Down on it. Nice play by Muffley. Throws across and gets her. Brito slid back into the bag, kind of a few steps off. Muffley suffocated it and threw across to retire Lyons. 2 away here for Sid Sanders.
In the 3-2 changeup, and you could see everything being set up in, and then what a confident pitch from Leonard throwing a 3-2 off speed.
Here's Sid Sanders. Brito at second. 2 outs. OU has been fantastic with 2 outs all season long. Here's the first pitch to Sanders. That's in for a strike right on the outside corner.
And I get the feeling with Sydney Sanders, and she struggled a little bit in the Stanford game, both Stanford games, but that she is about one swing away from being right back in it.
I would agree. No balls and a strike to Sid. That's a little bit out. We haven't talked too terribly much about the first time these two teams met. Sid Sanders, to kind of give you an idea of how much things have changed, didn't even have it at bat in that game.
In completely different set of weather, but it was freezing.
It was a little bit nippy on that night. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss on the off speed. Good pitch. And Leonard's jumped out in front of ball and 2 strikes on Sydney Sanders.
And I feel like I've said this quite a bit in the Women's College World Series and postseason, really, in general. If there has been pitchers who can keep these hitters off balance, it's using an effective off speed. And you can really see Leonard playing into that. The conversation needs to be that she's going to throw at any pitch.
That ball skips. Good job by Edenfield to get in front of it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some ball hit before the plate.
And it was a back-to-back off speed. So wouldn't be surprised to start seeing these OU hitters start to sit in late rhythm a little bit and take the changeup away.
Sanders was 2 for 5 with a run scored and 2 runs batted in the Super Regional. Just 1 for 5 in the Women's College World Series, and takes strike 3 right on the inside corner. Good pitch by Leonard, and Mac Leonard has held the Sooners without a hit through the first 2 innings. We head to the third. Oklahoma and Florida State are scoreless. Jabin, Cammie, and the family checking in from I-40 in western Oklahoma. Bob's listening in Holland, Iowa. Let's get going here in the third, shall we? Get back in the dugout for the Sooners. First pitch to Waycazer is low and in, ball 1. Waycazer has 1 hit in the Women's College World Series. 1. And it was a home run here against Tennessee on Monday night. One-0 pitch, bounced to third. Brito backed up, had an eater up, picks it up, no play. Waycazer will reach on what will likely, based on how these official scores have been handling things this week, and Aaron, I think understandably so. Tough spot. Should have charged it. Usually plays she makes.
That's routine, and Alyssa Brito knows it. That's not something we normally see her do, back up on a ball like that. You've got to attack that and get the high hop. One thing we know Brito does well is respond.
Yeah.
I don't expect that to bug her, but that's very uncharacteristic. The whole approach to it, that's a routine ground ball.
If I said 1 hit in the postseason, 1 hit in the World Series for Muffley, that's her second. As the first pitch is low and away for ball 1 to Bethany King. 1 hit in the World Series for Waycazer. That was her second. I'm really trying to confuse you all tonight. Here's 25-year-old Bethany King. She homered here on Monday, her first home run in a Florida State uniform. And quickly, Jordy Ball falls behind 2 balls and no strikes.
One thing right now that feels in this game, I mean, last inning started off with a walk. Mm-hmm. And then the error to Waycazer. You feel as if there's just kind of not a flow yet.
2-0 pitch, swing and a miss on the rise, 2 balls and a strike.
And I say it started off with a walk, going 3-0 and then giving up a single. So my mistake. But it just doesn't quite feel like there's a flow defensively or in the circle yet for the Sooners. And Jordy did a great job of getting out of that jam. But really want to see on the defensive side of the ball, this team just kind of get in a groove a little bit because it just feels a little bit out of sorts.
Here's the 2-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And a good opportunity for Jordy to get in the swing of things because that was a good pitch that she threw to Waycazer. And then here to Keene, 2-2, 2-strike count. So no better place to get in the swing of things than the 7, 8, 9 hitters.
Keene waits, ball, rocks and fires, missed low and away, full count. I mentioned Keene's 25 years old. Her first year in college softball was 2017. She was at USF. She got injured in 2018. So that was her redshirt season. She had a medical hardship season and then had a COVID season.
That's a long career.
How she's still in school in 2023.
She's going to have a doctorate.
The 3-2, pop foul, back and out of play. She's had, she's had 2 redshirt senior seasons. And she transferred to Florida State in 2022 and really didn't play all that much. She was an everyday starter for USF and then transferred to Florida State in 2022 and is just now starting to get a few extra ABs in this FSU lineup. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Keene. Got her swinging. Jordy took a little off it. Keene drilled herself in the ground. There's 1 away.
It's a big-time pitch, and it's not even close to Keene. There are a few things that I love more than a 3-2 changeup. And that was a beauty.
Sooner CK is in Trussville, Alabama. Amy Volker reigning in Choctaw, but way out of the 8-mile range. Tim Scrives in Lexington. Appreciate everyone tuned in tonight as Josie Muffley, a member of the ACC All-Tournament team, digs in. Runner goes. Hansen throws high. Stolen base. Hallie Waycazer gets what, at least from my research, is the first stolen base on the Sooners since the Baylor series. And that's what Florida State will do.
And Waycazer, that's her 9th stolen base of the season, and that is how they apply pressure. And you could see when she got a great jump, and it's not that Waycazer is wickedly fast.
No.
She just got a great jump.
The 1-0 is popped into center field. Easy for Jada Coleman, a couple of steps in, and there's 2 away. And Florida State turns its lineup over to the top, and here's Kaylee Mudge, who has the NCAA record for most hits in a Women's College World Series. That went back to 2021 when she went all kinds of crazy. Thankfully, not enough to knock off the Sooners. The lefty was a strikeout victim way back in the first inning. First pitch low, ball 1.
This is just such a huge place. You've got Florida State doing what they do, finding a way on base with the air, taking a bag, and then rolling it back to Mudge, arguably one of the best hitters in this lineup with a runner in scoring position. This is how Florida State operates. This is how they get runs on the board. So huge place here for Jordy Ball.
1-0 is popped foul and out of place. 2021 Women's College World Series All-Tournament team broke the record with her 14th hit in that third and final game against Oklahoma. And in a big spot here early in a scoreless game. Here's the 1-1. Strike 2. Good pitch on the inside edge.
Such a good spot. And one thing I do notice about it, though, Kinsey Hansen was set up outside, and that pitch broke in. So I'm curious to know if that was it looked to me like a missed spot. Regardless, you take the called strike, but Kinsey Hansen was not set up for that pitch. It looked like it crossed her up a little bit.
The 1-2 from Ball, swinging a foul straight back. Mudge, by the way, is in her final season, I believe. Nope, she has another year of eligibility. I apologize. Her freshman season was 2020. So if your freshman season was 2020, you still have the COVID year.
I wouldn't want to be the one having to figure out all of it.
I still get confused by it. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Mudge. A little low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sooners trying to work around a leadoff error by Alyssa Brito over at third. Mudge looking for a little 2-out Florida State magic, which has been kind of their theme this whole postseason. The 2-2 pitch to the left-handed leadoff hitter is fouled straight back. Mudge, by the way, in the NCAA tournament, is the second leading hitter on the team, hitting a little under 350 after her first at bat. She's 10 for 29. And in the Women's College World Series, Mudge is 3 for 11, but has scored a run.
Jordy's really going after her with 2 strikes. She got her swinging back in the first on the rise ball, and she's thrown it twice here. And Mudge, both rise balls have been out of the zone and haven't been strikes, and Mudge has fouled them both back.
2-2, fouled again. This one just pounded into the dirt.
Jordy trying to change speeds. Hasn't been able to get her with the rise ball, and you can see Mudge attacking it with her hands high and just getting enough of it, and then going back with the changeup.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch fouled again by Mudge. This is one heck of an at-bat. This is one heck of a battle between Jordy Ball and Kaylee Mudge.
And Jordy just threw back-to-back off-speed pitches. You get the feeling she'll go back to the rise here, but Mudge is doing a pretty good job of keeping her hands high and trying to stay on top of it. May not be a bad time to pull something different out of her pocket and maybe change the eyes down, hard and in.
Here's the 2-2 pitch from Jordy Ball. Cold strike 3. Sits down Kaylee Mudge and ends the Florida State threat. And is in Leander, Texas, and Alina Torres leads things off in a scoreless game, bottom of the third. First pitch strike. Real quick, Kindle up in Owasso. Jalen listening in Waco. Ryan is listening in with his dog Pretzel in Yukon. I don't know how you guys get your dogs to settle down while you're listening to the game. I have some very, very poorly trained dogs.
Same.
Here's the 0-ball, 1-strike pitch. High 1-1 to Alina Torres, who's hitting .342 on the season. Couple home runs, 22 runs batted in some key moments here.
And this is a spot in the game, and I know that Torres and Boone have not faced Leonard yet, but the bottom part of this lineup has really done a good job of kind of being the rally starters and stepping up. So really big spot here for Torres and Boone to hopefully get something moving.
1-1, grounded sharply to the right side, backhanded by Flaherty at second, throw to first, one away. And here's Riley Boone.
Even with one out, such a spot here for Riley Boone to do what she has done so well. She has been like a second leadoff in so many different ways here for her, whether she's laying down a bunt or using the chop or just hitting a double in the gap. But she needs to kind of channel some of that leadoff hitter that she has been showing so much and kind of being in the middle of all these rallies.
.429 average in the NCAA tournament for Riley Boone. First pitch, checked her swing on strike one right over the outside edge. Just you feel like Riley Boone has been right in the middle of everything for Oklahoma in about any rally they've had. Wouldn't mind her starting one here in a scoreless game in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the pitch, taken up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boy, it has ended up being a very pleasant night. And all of the lightning strikes that were concerning to start this game and that we were seeing numerous off in the distance have dissipated. And you've got a pleasant night if you had a ticket here this evening. 1-1 is lined towards the gap in right center field and deep. It'll hit the base of the wall. Riley Boone is off to the races and in with a 1-out double.
And that is what Riley Boone, we just talked about it. That is what Riley Boone has done all season. Find a way to get the party started and pass the bat and roll the lineup over to Jada Coleman.
She's so cool.
And she was amped.
She is so cool. That is her 6th double this season, and she just went down and got a low pitch and golfed it into the gap in right center field. It hit at the base of the wall and stuck there.
And what's crazy about it is, had she been feeling a little salty, that could have been a triple. But you got to play it safe here because anything that touches the grass scores Boone.
Immediately, Kat Sandercock is up in the Florida State pen. First pitch to Jada Coleman is outside, ball 1.
But you could see a little bit after Boone went into second base, she very well could have stretched that to a triple.
Well, she's not quite. That's not Kat Sandercock in the pen. I apologize. That's McKenna Reed that's getting up and throwing. The 1-0. Check swing foul. A ball and a strike. Coleman can't believe it. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. They got the one side of the bullpen that's hidden from us, and that is Sandercock warming up on the far side, I believe. Surprise TV hasn't given us a shot of it yet. Maybe they have. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jada flied out deep to center field her last time up. The pitch up high, 2-1.
Really want to see the Sooners take advantage of having Leonard in the circle right now. And going through now, this is Jada Coleman's second time to see her runner in scoring position. Take advantage of having Leonard, who does not have a lot of experience under her belt this season, and find a way to push a run across.
2-1 is popped up a mile high behind home plate. There is room, and the catch is made for out number 2 by Enfield. A frustrated Jada Coleman heads back to the Sooner dugout, and here's Tiare Jennings.
And that's the same pitch that Jada flew out back in the first, and she's ticked, rightfully so. That's not a pitch that she should be overpowered by and just getting jammed in on the hands. But what a spot here for Tiare.
We're scoreless in the bottom of the third inning. That's right, still in the third. Boone, though, with a one-out double, stands at second with 2 outs. Haley Lee waits on deck. Jennings struck out in the first, takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Kind of surprised by how shallow Haley Waycazer is in right field. Now she moves, she stays relatively shallow and way off the line. They're giving Jennings that right field line if she wants it. And Lonnie Alameda is going to walk out and chat here with Mac Leonard. I don't know if they're ready to make a change with 2 outs in the third, but Leonard seemed to be confused by something. And so Lonnie's like, let's just talk about this.
Well, and Leonard's thrown well. I mean, you can't, if you're going to roll, if you're not going to throw your ace, you better roll with who you put out there. I will say that, especially when she's throwing a pretty good game so far.
Oh, shouts out to our buddies Stephen and Bridget York. They're tuned in from Choctaw as always. Crystal Fairmont is in more. We got to shout out our guy Richard Martis and all the great job he always does at Sooner Vision. Ellie Beecham, my niece and her friends tuned in with the Black Widows in Wood River, Illinois. Look at this. Even my stepsister, Alicia Stallcup, is checked in tonight. Doug Hamilton is always with us in Hockley, Texas. Ted, Ava, and Boomer Buzzsaw and BA. Thanks to everyone for hanging with us tonight. And a reminder to join the Trophy Club, Soonersports.com/Trophy Club. All right, meeting is over. Leonard's still in. Runner at second, 2 outs. Here's the 1-0 to Jennings. Try to check her swing on a ball in. No, they're going to say she went. Patty Gasso throws her arms in the air in disbelief.
There have been some questionable calls this week, not just in OU games, all weekend, to say the least. That's tight. I mean, watching it on the replay, I never see the barrel cross the plate, but.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to the Sooner second baseman. Swings and lines it to first off a hop and nice play by Keene. She beats Jennings to the bag, and that'll do it for the Sooners. They get their first hit. That stranded their second runner of the game. And as we're only in the fourth inning, so we still got a ways to go. But Oklahoma, like to see them get things going at the plate. They got to get back there first. Janai Kerr takes strike 1 as we start the fourth with Jordy Ball pounding the zone. Kerr grounded out to second on a heck of a play by Tiare Jennings in the first.
Yeah, that for a lot of middle infielders, it would have been a single, but Tiare Jennings fielded that ball almost directly behind second base. But I love to see Jordy get ahead first pitch here in the fourth.
The 0-1 is a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I've been corrected by both Jessica Boehm, who's tuned in tonight, and Whitley Simmons. It's not Sandercock that was warming up in the pin form. It was actually McKenna Reed and Allison Royalty. And Allison Royalty hasn't even thrown in the World Series yet. The 1-1 is a little bit low, 2-1. I guess you don't have to worry about her if you're holding this Sooner offense at bay and get Sandercock some rest here. Whatever the plan is, so far it's working.
It's working, and I'm not saying I want them to bring Catherine Sandercock into this game. I don't. I want to see the Sooners figure out Mac Leonard. I will say I might go warm up in the bullpen if they start bringing in pitchers that haven't thrown.
2-1 is bounced softly towards the circle. Ball dropped it as she tried to tag it. Jordy was in phase, headed towards the baseline, and as she scooped it to try to tag her, she dropped the ball. There have been some uncharacteristic mistakes for the Sooners here tonight. The error by Brito, and that right there from Jordy Ball.
And what should be an error.
Yeah.
And it was a good job of bouncing off the mound. I think she had the opportunity even just to turn around and do kind of a shovel to first base to Sydney Sanders. They haven't scored it yet. I think the only reason they're discussing it is because it was back to a pitcher, and Jordy Ball's not your typical pitcher, but that's an error. Jordy Ball knows it.
First pitch to Kaylee Harding is in for a strike, and that'll be the second error on the Sooners here tonight. In all the conversations we've had about this matchup, talking to former Florida State stars like Alex Powers, people involved with the program, they felt very good about their chances against OU, but knew OU needed to play a less than perfect game. That's what they're getting here tonight.
No question.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Harding. A little bit low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, we've seen the two errors defensively. We've also seen a stolen base on really something that wasn't a close throw. Grace Lyons went up and got it to keep it on the infield on a stolen base. And offensively so far, we're not really seeing that attack mode from these hitters. So it doesn't quite feel like the Sooners are in control yet.
1-1, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now we will be keeping an eye over at first base. Florida State has already stole a base tonight. Janai Kerr is 14 for 16 in stolen base opportunities. Of the starters tonight, she is 3rd on that team, on that list.
And for Florida State, you've got to try to take advantage, too, of defensive miscues.
Here's the 1-2. Pop foul down the right side. That'll get out of play.
One way you take advantage of a defense that looks a little bit out of sorts is to continue to apply pressure. You apply pressure by taking off on the base paths.
Our buddy Jerry Isbell did report to me what Coach Gasso said to ESPN about the weather delay. Quote, we live in Oklahoma, so we've been in these positions before. It's nothing new to us. But we're trying to square it up and get a feel. It's early in the game, and I'm not worried. Coach Gasso isn't worried. I'm not worried. But a nice little 6-4-3 double play could do wonders for my worry. The pitch bounced foul at the plate.
It's a good spot. Up and in. One thing these Florida State hitters like to do is put the ball on the ground. We even heard Coach Gasso say it, which I feel like is why we are seeing so many rise balls from Jordy. Now, it's one of her better pitches, but she's really twisting these Florida State hitters up and forcing them to put the ball in the air, foul off pitches.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The next pitch for Jordy is her 49th. Here it comes. It's low. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scoreless game, top of the 4th inning. The game started an hour late due to lightning and weather delays, and we had a relatively short delay of about 45 minutes after the top of the 1st inning.
Kinsey Hansen came popping out from behind the plate. That ball was in the dirt a little bit, and she came out hot, making sure Kerr didn't take off.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Big pitch by Jordy Ball as she gets Harding for the first out of the inning.
The changeup has been key for Jordy in this game so far. She's really using the rise ball a lot and then getting these Florida State hitters off balance with the changeup. It has been such a huge pitch for her, and she's going to have to keep using it throughout this game.
Edenfield has the only hit for Florida State. She took a 3-0 pitch back up the middle. First pitch from Jordy Ball is fouled off to the right side for strike 1. She is definitely the power source in this Florida State lineup. On the season, Edenfield has had 13 home runs. But again, it's a team that just, well, I'm not going to mention they don't have a lot of home runs. But as compared to Oklahoma, the home run numbers wouldn't blow you away. They have just 5 in this women's, but they have 5 in this Women's College World Series.
One of them from Edenfield.
Yeah, that was a bomb. Oh, 1 pitch misses low and in 1-1 as Hansen stares Kerr back to first base.
Kerr just took a massive jump on that pitch. I mean, she was a third of the way to second base. It was a huge lead.
Here's the 1-1 pitch as Jordy Ball stares in on Michaela Edenfield. Has the only hit for Florida State, and they hit her right on the leg. I mean, square on the knee. And Florida State has multiple runners aboard for the first time tonight.
I'll say this, as I'm looking, the stat line so far for Jordy is really odd because she's given up one hit, but Florida State has had multiple runners in scoring position. They've all gotten there via error or free pass, and that is not something we typically see from this team.
Devin Flaherty, first pitch, line drive, foul. That went down the left side as Kinsey Hansen gets a new ball from our home plate umpire, Tracy Laycock. Tom Meyer over at first, Don Brown at second, Danny Bowman at third. Flaherty, a strikeout victim in the second inning. That was after the single by Michaela Edenfield. No balls and a strike. Second time Florida State has put a runner in scoring position here today, and there's another foul ball in the exact same spot.
Good pitches. Good to see Jordy working ahead. And really, she hasn't been in too many positions where she's behind in counts. I mean, even to Edenfield, I mean, she hit her on a pitch where she wasn't necessarily in a tough spot, but payoff pitch here. You feel Florida State is trying to take away the rise ball. You can see it in their swings, just trying to get on top of it somehow, similar to what we saw OU trying to do against Kennedy.
First and second, one away. Top of the fourth, Florida State threatening in a scoreless game. The pitch from Jordy Ball, foul straight back.
And that's another rise ball. And typically we see that pitch with a swing and miss. And we're seeing a lot of foul balls on it, which is forcing Jordy to throw something different. Now, she's had success with the off speed, and that pitch has been deadly tonight. But they're also forcing her to come back into the zone with something else.
It's an 0-2 count to Flaherty. This hasn't always been a good count for the Sooners here this weekend. Jordy brings it home. Bounce to the right side. Sanders on the big hop will take it to the bag for the out. And there's two away. Kerr moves on to third. Edenfield to second. And here's Mac Leonard, who hit it hard the last time, but right at Grace Lyons.
And I think that play will be under-celebrated because it looked so routine, but that's something as deep as Sydney Sanders was playing that could have gotten dicey real quick with the hop. So she did a really good job of attacking the ball and catching the hop and not trying to sit back on it. Had she sat back just a hair, that ball would have eaten her up.
Here's Mac Leonard. Has a chance with two outs, but Jordy Ball pounds the zone with strike one. Like she took a little off it. 61 miles an hour, I'd say so. No balls and a strike to Leonard, who again grounded into that 4-6-3 double play, but has struggled in the postseason, specifically the World Series. Just 1 for 9. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Jordy Ball. Line drive down the line, foul. Just foul. She was fooled too, but got enough of it to poke it down the right field line, but pulled it a little bit too much. And it's an 0-2 count.
And it wasn't a changeup. It was very similar to the pitch that opened the count, of just having a little bit taken off of it. So Jordy's doing a really good job of mixing speeds, but a big spot here. And we've seen Jordy Ball rise in these situations here in Oklahoma City this week.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Ball. Swing and a miss. Ball rips her face mask off. A big high five to Kinsey Hansen. And the inning is over, and we are scoreless. OU just one hit and has committed 2 errors so far. Neither has cost them a run. Lee flied out to right field in the first and takes Ball. Well, she jogs down to first like she was hit. And the home plate umpire called her back. Now Patty Gasso is going to have a conversation with the home plate umpire.
So I don't feel like this is something we've seen. Is this something that can be challenged? Because yes. Haley Lee came back and said it hit me.
You can challenge a hit by pitch. Let's see if it got her. Oh, yeah, it hit her.
Yeah.
It hit her in the thigh.
You can see it.
This will be the quickest challenge we've ever had.
And it's no question. And I will say this, what a mistake. And I know, but what a mistake by home plate umpire Tracy Laycock, because it was visible.
The thing that stinks is Oklahoma has to challenge this, and they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Here you go. Yes, see? And it's big, but it's a wasted challenge on a horrible job of umpiring behind home plate by Tracy Laycock.
In a tight game where you very well might need that challenge, but what a great job by Haley Lee, which you didn't have to have such a great job. I mean, it flat out hit her in the thigh. So what a terrible job by Tracy Laycock. You can't miss that. Not on this stage, not ever, but you can't miss that.
Haley Lee is fired up. She got to the bag, and now she's going to be replaced by a pinch runner. And that pinch runner is Jordy Ball.
That's the beauty of the flex. You're able to take, because Jordy Ball's sitting in the 10 slot, the flex spot and pitching, which means her and Haley Lee essentially are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So you can flex her up and not even have to use a substitution.
And that's going to be it for Mac Leonard. I mean, what an outing for Leonard, all things considered. You couldn't ask for anything better if you're a Florida State fan. It's her longest outing, and they're going to go with McKenna Reed. McKenna Reed will get the call here for Florida State. And overall, the numbers on the season for McKenna Reed, 13-0. This is her 43rd appearance. A .89 ERA, 91 strikeouts to 22 walks. Here's Hansen. First pitch to K9, a little bit up.
And she's a different look. Lefty, and that pitch, I know it was a ball, but it was right down Lindsay to steal a plank. But what a spot for Reed here.
1 ball, no strikes to K9. Kinsey grounded out to third her last time up. Here's a 1-0. Pop foul down the right side. That'll get a few rows up.
And, I mean, this game's starting to get a little bit deep. And you're in the bottom of the fourth. You start looking at what's coming down the line. I mean, you're in a position to where you could enter Sandercock into this game right now, and she's only going through this lineup once. But you just feel like this is an opportunity for OU. Again, take advantage of not having the All-American Sandercock in the circle.
1-1 is lined towards left center field. It's down. It's to the wall. Jordy Ball rounding third. She'll score. Oklahoma takes a 1-0 lead on an RBI double from Kinsey Hansen on a laser to the wall. Jordy Ball scored from first base on that, and it wasn't even close at home. In fact, Florida State didn't even make the throw.
And right on cue, talking about taking advantage of them entering Reed into this game, Kinsey Hansen makes it look easy on a pitch. I mean, it was right down the middle. Not much movement to it. It was a curveball, and it definitely did not get inside. But I'm going to say it right now. I don't know how, if you're Florida State, you don't have Sandercock in the circle this late into the game.
1-0 Sooners. Oklahoma breaks through in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's Alyssa Brito, a walk her last time up. First pitch to Brito. A little bit up, ball one.
Kinsey Hansen has just been electric. Coming through in the biggest moments, and there's another one.
Boy, Kinsey Hansen, you can't say enough about what she's meant to this team in the postseason. That is her 12th RBI of the NCAA tournament. 12. Here's the 1-0 pitch to the Sooner third baseman. Did she? No, just dropped by the catcher, and off the third goes Hansen. Brito had checked her swing. It's a ball and a strike. Thought it was a foul ball, but it was not.
And I would want to know, was that on the call or on the check swing? Because, Okay, it's a strike. Edenfield just flat out missed it.
We've now Florida State's going to come together in the circle. The Sooners have a runner at third on the pass ball. We've seen that a few times in this tournament. The Tennessee catcher had all kinds of problems with the ball popping out of her glove. Edenfield had it happen 3 or 4 times against Tennessee here on Monday night.
Yeah. And not mistakes you expect to see on this stage, but it happens. It happens. And that was actually an off-speed pitch. Just kind of caught her at the end of the web.
Meetings are over. Reed stares in the lefty. Here's the 1-1 to Brito. Ooh, Brito had a cut and fouled it straight back. One-zip Sooners, bottom of the 4th.
And nobody out. Nobody out. I mean, just so many different ways for Brito to get this job done. And 1 run on the board right now, manufactured. Now, it was aided by a hit by pitch, but nobody cares. But such a spot here for Brito to play the game. Find something you can handle to do enough to get Kinsey Hansen to score.
The 1-2 is hammered, but foul down the left field line and into the second row. Oh, she smoked another one, foul. We said it earlier against Leonard. It was just a matter of time, but as soon as she went to the dugout, the Sooners bats, courtesy of Kinsey Hansen, showing some life. The 1-2 pitch, looped, shallow right field. It falls for a hit. Kinsey Hansen scores. It's 2-0 Sooners on the RBI single to right field by Alyssa Brito.
And just a good piece of hitting. Keeping her hands inside the ball and kind of doing a little bit of an inside-out swing to the other side of the field. Again, something she could handle to get the job done. Great piece of hitting by Alyssa Brito. I start to wonder if Florida State's wondering in second guessing of whether or not they should have brought Reed into this game. I'm not complaining.
Right.
But, I mean, when you've got Sandercock in the stable in a 0-0 game and you don't use her, that's on you.
Here's Grace Lyons. G3 grounded out to short her last time up. First pitch is a bunt, and it's a beauty. The only play is going to be to first. The sacrifice works.
She's doing her job. And Grace Lyons, we've talked about it a lot, has struggled here as of late at the plate, but what a great job of playing the game and getting the bunt down.
Give credit to Florida State on this front. They were very much aware that Brito was heads up trying to get to third because both Harding, the third baseman who made the play, and Edenfield were standing on the third base bag to be safe. That was a rocket out of the hand of Harding, too. If Flaherty would have missed that, that ball might still be rolling down into the corner. Here's Sid Sanders, strikeout victim in the second. First pitch, take strike one. Tilt your head a little bit. Not a strike in your mind?
It's outside. It's a good take. I mean, that's not really a pitch that Sydney Sanders can handle unless she's absolutely on time. But it looked like Edenfield really had to reach for it.
Here's the no ball, one strike pitch to Sanders. Popped up a mile high, shallow right field. Racing in is Waycazer. And Waycazer makes the catch, and there's two away. Annalena Torres, who has been clutch in these moments. The Sooners are going to add to their 2-run lead with a runner at second and 2 outs. They're going to need something with 2 outs from Alena Torres.
She took the ball the other way back in the second inning. Third inning. We got back to her quickly. But Torres has just done a good job of staying collected in the box.
First pitch, in for a strike. I mentioned that ground out in the third. Sooners bats have come to life here in the bottom of the fourth. And this all started on a leadoff hit by pitch on a play they had to challenge. No balls and one strike. Brito stands at second. The pitch to Torres. Reaches, bounces it slowly towards the circle. The throw is not in time. It got away from the first baseman, Keane, and Alyssa Brito will score.
The hustle and making something happen on a pitch that she was fooled on. And in all of that, as Reed was coming out of the circle, she took her mask off. As she's going for the ball, dropped it. It took time and away from her making the play. I mean, she was very deliberate in taking her mask off as she was making the play.
And Torres slid headfirst into first. That caused some chaos for Keane trying to scoop it. They're going to give a single to Alina Torres and charge an error on the throw for McKenna Reed. It's 3-0 Sooners.
What a hard-nosed play. Hard-nosed, all hustle, and finding a way to get the job done. And that's what you have to do in these situations.
Here's Riley Boone. She's 1 for 1 with a double. First pitch. In for a strike. Lefty-lefty matchup here for McKenna Reed. Jada Coleman on deck.
McKenna Reed's mask could have very well fallen off. I feel like I saw her with her mask in her hand. I didn't see the replay, but it looked as if she had it and dropped it.
The 0-1 pitch to Boone. Running up the box, takes ball one. That line shot from Boone with one out in the second, you kind of thought was the jolt this offense needed, but that was to lead off the with one out in the third, excuse me. Boy, we are getting back around this lineup quick. We'll take it. But unfortunately, OU wasn't able to do anything with it. There's a looper on the infield. Easy play for Flaherty. Calls off everyone, makes the catch. And that'll do it in the fourth, but oh, what a fourth inning it was for the Sooners. The leadoff hit by pitch. The RBI double from Kinsey Hansen. The bloop single RBI from Alyssa Brito. And Alina Torres with the infield single that scored Brito. And my man TJC. With DJ Sanchez, I'm Chris Plank. 3-0 Sooners as we head to the fifth inning. It's late. It's late in Oklahoma City, but as Hallie Wakehazer leads things off, a 1-2-3 inning would be just what the doctor ordered here for the Sooners. First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike one.
You follow up a crooked number with a filthy changeup to open up a count, expecting Florida State to come out aggressive. This is where Jordy Ball takes control of this game.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from the Sooner righty. Swings and hits it to center field. Jada Coleman calls off Riley Boone and makes the catch relatively deep for out number one. Wakehazer is retired. Here's Bethany Keene's spot. I wonder if we'll see Keene here. Yeah, we will.
Goes down in the book as an out, but probably one of the better hit balls we've seen from Florida State.
Keene struck out in the third inning. The lefty waits for the first pitch and takes strike one. Well, Florida State is sending a couple more pitchers down to the pen here. And neither one of them are Kat Sandercock. It almost looks like they're good with just using her tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was Du Bois and Lepresti sent down to the pen. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss, strike two.
Well, if they get, now granted, they've got a while to get back to Leonard's spot in the lineup, but whoever is in that slot, whether they re-enter Leonard and then lose her, I mean.
What they had done the other night was Leonard came in and I think played first base for him. But interesting. Here's the no ball, two strike pitch to Bethany Keene. Up high, 1-2. No runs on one hit and an error for Florida State. OU, 3 runs, 4 hits, but 2 errors kind of jump out. This game reminds me a lot of our game against Washington in Los Angeles. It was just a weird game that in the end you looked up and you're like, oh, we won the game. 1-2 pitch headed home to King. Boy, that just missed, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good spot.
It's a really good 2-strike pitch, and it's a ball, but the location sets up what's coming next. So many different things for Jordy to use here. She's used the rise ball a lot.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Throws the rise here. She's going to need to get it in Keen's eyes.
The pitch. Inside out swing fouled into the stands. Everyone okay? This is my every game reminder for those of you that might have tickets and are heading out tomorrow. Head on a swivel down the line. The only place you're really safe is behind home plate.
Now, going back to what you kind of were saying, Plank, about the game not feeling crisp, almost. And, you know,
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. You mentioned get the rise in her eyes. She did.
It's a good job. And you could just see the pitch setup. And what I like to see is that Jordy's made an adjustment with the rise ball. She's thrown it a lot, but she's elevated it just a hair to get it out of that range where we've seen it get fouled back a ton. And she's starting to adjust and starting it a little bit higher and still getting the chase.
7th strikeout of the game for Jordy Ball. First pitch to the shortstop. 9-hole hitter Muffley is ball 1. 3-0 Sooners, top of the 5th. These 2 teams tomorrow night, hopefully without the weather delays. This isn't a 4-hour and 30-minute game. It'll actually be 3:30. We started at 7. Here's the 1-0 pitch. A little bit low, 2-0. This game has had a weather delay and got it started exactly an hour later from its scheduled start time as far as the TV broadcast was concerned. And then we had about a 40-minute delay when lightning hit right after the top of the first inning. Here's the 2-ball, no-strike pitch to Muffley. Loop to center field. Easy play for Jada Coleman. That is the first 1-2-3 inning for Jordy Ball since the top of the first inning. Yeah, it is. 3rd appearance in the postseason. She's 0-1. Did start a game. So down 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Allie DuBois is the choice. 4 1/3 innings in the postseason. 4 1/3. 5 hits, 2 runs. And she faces Jada Coleman. Coleman lays down a beautiful bunt, and she's going to beat it without a throw. I mean, you could not have walked out and placed a ball in front of DuBois and said, make this play more perfectly than Jada Coleman just did for her first hit of the night.
And that's Jada Coleman knowing a scouting report and taking advantage of it. She bunted it right back to DuBois and made her try to field her position, but you could see Harding swoop right in because, again, the scouting report probably says that DuBois does not field her position well.
Coleman aboard, first pitch to Tiari. Jennings is lined right to the shortstop, Muffley, who tries to throw behind Coleman, but Jada gets back in, and that was an absolute laser and an absolutely spectacular play by Muffley to go up and get it.
That's probably the hardest hit ball we've seen in this game. That pitch was laced. And what a great job by Jada Coleman, because Muffley made a great play and she froze and found her way back.
Haley Lee was hit by a pitch and then Pinch ran for, and now she digs in with a runner at first and only 1 out. 3-0 Sooner. Allie DuBois making her Women's College World Series debut, and the first pitch hangs up high for ball 1. Boston University, our Boston College transfer, is Allie DuBois out of Torrington Connecticut. Did I say Boston College? Boston University. The Terriers. BU. Torrington, Connecticut. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Haley Lee. And that hangs up high, ball 2. I'm not one to judge, but it doesn't look like Allie DuBois has the most electric stuff that we've seen in this NCAA tournament.
It's not outstanding. You know, I keep thinking as I'm watching sort of the merry-go-round of pitchers who haven't thrown a lot from Florida State, and I go back to what Coach Gasso said in the pregame.
2-0 pitch to Lee is bounced towards short. Muffley makes the play on the short hop, but her only play will be to first, and there's 2 away. Well, she's got 2 outs here, but let's face it, that's about the hardest hit ball we've seen off the bat of Jennings, and she just fooled Haley Lee a bit. And
a pretty good play by Muffley. And Muffley's a great shortstop defensively. And catching Haley Lee a little bit out front on the inner part of the plate, but good job by Muffley. But we're starting to see solid contact, solid outs.
Yeah, and you were saying something from Coach Gasso?
Yeah, Coach said in the pregame, she goes, you know what, this team, they never think about losing, or something to the effect of there's so many things surrounding it, and they don't think about losing. They just go out and play the game.
First pitch is low for a ball.
And then it never creeps into their mind. And I guess just as I'm watching the way that Florida State has handled their bullpen, and Coach Alameda is one of the best. Absolutely one of the best. And I am very far from knowing any better than Lonnie Alameda.
The 1-0 pitch to Hansen is ripped into left field. It's a base hit. Patty Gasso waving home Jada Coleman with the 4th run of the game. Making a 2 RBI day for K9, and it's 4-0 Sooners.
And Kinsey Hansen continues her tear, but I feel like that's perfectly on cue to the point I was about to make of saying in the 4th inning when Florida State did not go to their ace in Sandercock, and then now putting out pitchers. I mean, this is DuBois' first experience in the Women's College World Series. You're going to put her out there in the championship series. It's almost as if they're taking the approach of, well, if we lose this game,
right,
and we'll throw Catherine Sandercock in game 2 and hopefully not face Jordy Ball. I don't understand the approach. And you want to know what sets those two teams apart? It's that.
Here's the first pitch to Brito. Ground ball down the third baseline, fair. Under the glove of Harding, into the corner, but quickly thrown back in by Mudge. It's a 2-hit day for Brito. It's 4-0, and here's Grace Lyons with the runners at first and second.
And stringing things together with 2 outs, something this team does so well, and they've done it all season, and especially in the postseason. Stringing things together with 2 outs.
Well, what a spot here for G3. It's 4-zip. Laid down the sack bunt the last time up. She's 0 for 1. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Man, Hansen's, she has some room off the bag at second. I mean, is it crazy of me to wonder, is there something wrong with Sandercock? I mean, could she?
You got to start wondering.
Right. I mean, now it's probably foolish to bring her in at this point.
Yeah.
But still, earlier in the game, it wouldn't have been.
No.
Here's the 1-0. It's slow ball 2.
Well, think about 2 innings ago. I mean, the Sooners at that point had made multiple errors. Jordy Ball was not dominant in the circle. And you have a game that's starting to get late, tied up at 0, and you don't go to your ace. I mean, you start to ask the question, is Sandercock okay?
Here's the 2-0 to Lions. That off-speed hangs up high, ball 3.
But the narrative of, trying to keep them off balance, I mean, you've got to throw that out the door. I'm going to go back to, you've got to play to win the ball game. And I look at this pitching approach all day long from Florida State and go, they were playing, well, in case we lose, we've got Sandercock for tomorrow.
Yep. Here's the 3-0 to Lions. Strike 1. That ball crossed up Edenfield, the catcher. Here, our home plate umpire, Tracy Laycock urging and encouraging Grace Lyons to get back into the batter's box. She does. She's ready. First and second Sooners. 2 away. Bottom of the 5th. 4-0 OU. The pitch. Ball 4. Bases loaded for Sid Sanders.
It's a really good at-bat by Grace Lyons. That 3-1 pitch is clearly a ball low, but it's a really tough pitch to take. So just as Grace has done really all World Series, drawn some good walks and found her way on base.
You know what's in the Women's College World Series Championship Series for the first time ever, don't you?
What?
The run rule.
Guess what?
Just say it. Here's Sid Sanders, though. She hasn't had the best night. 0 for 2, a strikeout and flied out to right field. 4-0 Sooners. Bases loaded. Bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the first pitch to Sid Sanders. That off speed falls in at like 40 miles an hour. Oh my gosh, I was right. 43 miles an hour.
Human radar gun, Chris Plank.
I mean, it literally looked like something my dad would hit in his slow pitch softball games back in the day.
It had a little bit of a loop on it.
That little lollipop change is what I've heard it called.
We don't like lollipop changes.
Okay. Me neither. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's in for a strike, and Sanders has looked at a couple of good pitches here. No balls and 2 strikes. Sid's going to take a little walk.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and I kind of wanted to say it as she stepped in the box of wanting to see Sydney Sanders be more aggressive at the plate, because you just feel like she's really taking some pitches that she could really hit hard.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Sanders. That off speed is driven deep, but not deep enough to right field. Under it, having to make a couple steps back to catch it is Allie Waykazer in right field, and that'll do it for the Sooners. Go to the 6th. Back to work for Jordy Ball. Lead off, Kaylee Mudge, who is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
And those strikeouts have been huge because Mudge is such a table setter for this team offensively, and Jordy Ball has just owned her so far in this game. So right here, going through this lineup again.
Mudge shows bunt, bunts it right to Ball. Easy play, throws to first, 1 away.
Please bump the ball back to our pitcher.
I know Jordy had the error earlier, but she has been smooth in the circle all year.
Well, she had the error on really what was a relatively tough play. She had to go a long way for it, but we expect her, just as she expects herself, to make that play. But please, 1 pitch, bunt it back to her, let her be an athlete.
Well, here's Janai Kerr. She can get Florida State back in this game with 1 swing of the bat. In fact, this 2-3-4 spot in their lineup is a place that's dangerous as the first pitch is fouled back for strike 1.
Aggressive so far from Florida State. Down 4-0, and Kerr came out with a hack. And you can see Mudge just trying to get something done, but a poorly placed bunt.
No balls and a strike. Kerr grounded out to second and reached on that error by Jordy Ball and takes the 0-1 pitch flown away. Between Kerr, Harding, and Edenfield, 2, 3, and 4. 31 home runs in this Florida State lineup. The rest of the lineup has 18 combined home runs between them all. So this is the area where the big bats, the dangerous bats are, as far as the long ball is concerned for Florida State. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Though they need more than a home run here, down 4-zip.
And that's a really good pitch. We talked about it last inning, about Jordy Ball making the adjustment on the rise ball and getting it out of the reach and getting rid of that foul ball, especially with 2 strikes. So that's another great location.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Ball, headed home, swing and a miss. Got her on the rise, and there's 2 away, and Kerr chased one way out of the zone.
Chased one that didn't even start in the zone. And what I love about it is you can see Jordy Ball taking, and Coach Rocha with the pitch calling, taking advantage of what they're seeing Florida State do in their game plan was to get on top of the rise ball. They were swinging at it. They weren't trying to zone it off. So instead, Jordy Ball is starting it a little bit higher and taking advantage of some undisciplined at-bats.
Kayla Harding is 0 for 2, flied out to right field in the first, struck out in the 4th. First pitch ball from Jordy Ball. 8 strikeouts now in the game from Jordy. And she has retired 7 straight after hitting Michaela Edenfield in the 4th. 4-0 Sooners late on a Wednesday in Oklahoma City. Here's the 1-0 from Ball. Low and in, 2 balls and no strikes. Star falling behind here. She's been so good with it since the early stages of this game.
She really has. Once this game got moving, you could see Jordy Ball kind of settle in, and she did it quickly, especially coming off of the lightning delay. But this is not the spot in the lineup where you want to start getting behind in counts. Harding is one of the toughest hitters, one of the more challenging hitters in this lineup, so she needs a pitch here, especially 2-0. I'd expect to see the green light here from Harding, an aggressive swing. So Jordy Ball needs to match it with a quality pitcher's pitch.
2-0 and for a strike, 2-1. Good spot. Harding asks for time as she digs in. Jordy's ready, staring in. Whips that hand into the glove. The 2-1 pitch is laced to center field and deep. It's going to get over the head of Coleman. One hop off the wall. Coleman throws a strike back in. Harding is out by a mile.
And didn't even slide.
Jada Coleman, you are some kind of athlete. She played that ball perfectly off the wall. Threw an absolute strike to Tiare Jennings covering, and may have just put the dagger in the heart of Florida State. My goodness. They call it the greatest show on dirt. Expand that to the outfield when Jade is out there. The greatest show on grass, too. Another new pitcher for Florida State, and it's another pitcher making her World Series debut. Still weird. As Allison Royalty is in. The righty Royalty stares into Jocelyn Erickson, who takes the first pitch strike. It's 4-0 Sooners. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning as we approach 11 p.m. local time. We had weather in the area. Caused a delay right off the start and a delay to the start. Here's the 0-1. Line to center field, but right at curve. I mean, that thing was lasered off the bat of Erickson. She has had a couple of really good swings over the last few games.
That pitch was laced, and Erickson just looks so smooth. She had a really good at-bat against Kennedy a couple of days ago. Good to see Erickson get some opportunities, and they're not helping the stats in any way, but I can tell you that Coach Gasso and JT are proud of those at-bats and are going to continue to reward Jocelyn Erickson.
Royalty is an Arizona State transfer as Riley Boone digs in. Boone had a double earlier, and she lines this one towards the right center field gap. Oh, Riley Boone is off to the races. She'll slide in with another double. The ball hit her hand as it was thrown in. Boone takes off for third. As the throw came in, Boone was celebrating. It hit off her hand and takes off to third. Listen to this place. Channing Boone.
How do you score that? A double and a celebration?
Well, as her hand was in the air, she's on the bag, and somehow it just shot right off her hand. She looks to be okay. That ball again takes a hop, rolls to the wall. The throw in by, oh, it hit her hand. She on the base, threw out a celebration, and it knocked the ball away. Here's Jada Coleman. The Florida State infield is in. First pitch to Jada is up high, ball 1. Oklahoma has seen 3 pitches now from Allison Royalty. 2 of them have been absolute laser shots.
I'll say this, and I understand the why as to why the Florida State middle infielders are so tight, but I'd be taking a step back.
1-0 pitch is high, 2 balls and no strikes.
Because Royalty is not fooling anybody, and Riley Boone, when she got to third base, the very first thing Jada Coleman did was look at her, and Riley Boone gave the "it's right here" and a little bit in. and just basically said, unload. It's BP.
Here's the 2-0 pitch to Coleman. That's a little low, ball 3. And to give you a little background here on Royalty, this is her Women's College World Series debut. And so far in the postseason, she's only thrown 2 innings, and that came against South Carolina in the regional. The 3-0 pitch to Jada Coleman is called a strike. And you know what? I don't even know if that's right about when she threw against South Carolina. Yeah, I am. That's her only postseason appearance. Came in the regional against South Carolina in Game 6 of that regional. Here's the 3-1 to Coleman, ball 4.
I'm done trying to understand the pitching ideas. I get it now. You're not going to Sandercock now. You're down 4 runs with 6 outs to go. Or excuse me, 3 outs to go. But, I mean, the Sooners have just taken advantage of inexperience in the circle from Florida State.
T.R.A. Jennings is 0 for 3. I mean, it's wild. This game is 4-0. A relatively tight game, relatively close game, but you feel like it's over.
Yep.
I mean, you feel like Florida State is just done.
Well, and you get the impression in the way that they're going about the game. That's not what this team does, as that pitch falls in for strike 1. But this is a scrappy team that fights, and after Jada Coleman, now granted, it was a heck of a play that Jada Coleman made off the wall and threw out Harding at second base, but Harding didn't even slide and then walked all the way from second base back to the dugout.
Unreal. The 0-1 runner goes, ground ball through, past the diving Muffley into left field. Boone scores. It's 5-0 Sooners on the hit and run, executed to perfection by T.R.A.
And what a great job. And I love the fact, I mean, T.R.A. 0 for 3 on the day, and Coach Gasso calls the hit and run. Sometimes a hit and run takes the pressure off of the hitter because you know your job's to swing and to put the ball on the ground, and sometimes that makes your job easier in some ways. And Jennings just taking a pitch on the inner half and putting it on the ground and finding a hole.
History. T.R.A. Jennings now the all-time leader in RBI in the NC and the Women's College World Series. Haley Lee walking off. Haley Lee, a 3-run home. No. Oh my goodness, what a play at the wall. Haley Lee looked like she was going to walk it off on a 3-run bomb, and Mudge went over the wall and took it from her. What an incredible play by Mudge in left field. That's got to be one of the best defensive plays we've seen from someone not named Jada Coleman here in Oklahoma City. Wow.
And that wasn't like a get up against the fence and use it to lift yourself. That was just pure jump man out there.
Haley Lee had started her celebration rounding first base when Mudge went up and got it. That was sensational.
That was an unbelievable catch.
Now here's Kinsey Hansen, who is 2 for 3 on the day with a run batted in. First pitch to K9 is low and in for ball 1. Wow. That went from being a ball game, it would have made it 8-zip, to a fantastic play that Mudge didn't really sell too much after she made it.
And really, it was tough to tell. And you could even see Jada Coleman's going, did she catch it? Did she not? Do I need to tag? What a play.
Here's the 1-0 by Hansen. A little bit in, 2 balls and no strikes. Boy, Kinsey Hansen has been a difference maker here tonight. Her 4th inning RBI double started the party. Singled in the 5th. Actually, the hit by pitch to Haley Lee. It's wild to look back. The Sooners were in a scoreless game in the 4th.
And I know we're so caught up, and rightfully so, in the catch that Mudge just made, but good to see Haley Lee put a good swing on a ball and hit something hard, because she's yet to do that in this Women's College World Series.
The 2-0 pitch misses low, ball 3. That's a great point. It's an out, and it's the number one play on Sports Center. No question. But it's also Haley Lee hitting a ball hard and far. First and second, 2 outs, 5-0 Sooners. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Hansen, strike 1.
Get the feeling if anything is close here to Hansen, she is just going to unload, because Royalty is not fooling anybody.
The last 2 pitchers, DuBois or Royalty.
Yeah.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Hansen. K9 lines one that is right at Harding, the third baseman, to end the inning. Wow. An absolute laser off the bat of Lee. An absolute laser off the bat of Hansen. And they come away with 2 outs. The highlight of this game might be the Mudge catch, but the biggest story is that Oklahoma is 3 outs away from taking game 1 of the championship series. They lead it 5-0. I've got Jordy Ball, and I've got Nicole May, and if necessary, I got Alex Storako. No games, just throwing your best.
Playing to win. Playing to win and going toe-to-toe, saying, I mean, Florida State is right now, these are the 2 best teams in the country.
First pitch, a little bit low, ball 1. We owe you a station ID. We'll get it after this 1-0 pitch to Michaela Edenfield. 5 runs on 9 hits for the Sooners. No runs on 2 hits for Florida State.
I just feel like such a big difference between the approaches in this game, in particular tonight, is it's saying you're the best. Well, we're going to give you our best.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. In for a strike. Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is Sooner softball from Learfield.
KRXO-FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media, your flagship station for Oklahoma Sooner sports. 107.7, The Franchise.
Still the birthday boy, as OU leads 5-0 over Florida State in the top of the 7th inning. The 1-1 pitch is pop foul down the right side. This game started an hour later than it was scheduled to start due to a weather delay. And then you had a situation where lightning struck right after the top of the first inning, which delayed it even more. All total about an hour and 46 minutes worth of delays here tonight.
The game itself has moved.
It's moved well. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Edenfield. Swing, and she got her. Swing and a miss. Edenfield stopped for a moment and said something to Hansen, but it was merely because Edenfield had swung the bat around and caught her. I think they're friends. They've played against each other for a while. That is strikeout number 9 for Kinsey Hansen.
And that was a hack. I mean, and part of the reason she was turning around and talking to Kinsey was she took such a big swing. I think the bat clipped Kinsey Hansen as she was coming up to throw the ball around.
Devin Flaherty takes ball 1. Flaherty on the night is 0 for 2.
I saw something kind of interesting during Edenfield's at bat. She took a pitch against Jordy Ball. It was a pitch that really you would have expected Edenfield to swing, and she took it for a called strike, and then she pointed to the dugout kind of like saying that they called the wrong pitch, almost as if they were trying to pick a pitch.
The 1-0 misses low, 2-0. And that's become a big story in this World Series because Lance Glasso here on, was that Saturday, whenever he was picking pitches to try to help out, maybe it was Sunday, to help out Washington and Kennedy, open up a big discussion about stealing signs and if that's acceptable. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Flaherty headed home. A little bit low, ball 3.
No, but it was interesting because I get, and I very well could be wrong, but I saw Edenfield point her bat to the dugout and kind of say that was the wrong pitch.
3 balls and no strikes. The left-handed hitting senior second baseman. Strikeout victim in the second, grounded out to first in the 4th. Strike 1.
This is where Jordy just needs to go after hitters. 5-run lead, 2 outs to go. No free passes here. Go right after Flaherty. Make her earn anything that she gets.
3 balls and a strike. Jordy rocks and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Jordy's been good tonight. I mean, just as she's been all Women's College World Series, but she has really just thrown a really good game.
3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the top of the 7th. Ball brings it home. Cold strike 3. Flaherty thought it was ball 4. She started walking down to first base. Not so fast. Strikeout number 10 from Jordy Ball.
It may have been a little outside, but when you've struck out 9 and you've been around the zone for most of the night, when the game gets deep and you've thrown a lot of strikes, you get the call in the river. It's just how it goes.
Katie Dack is going to pinch hit here. Dack hit a home run against the Sooners earlier this season. Here's the first pitch to the 305 hitter, and it's a little bit up, ball 1.
Dack, if I remember correctly, hit a bomb in Norman.
Yeah.
In the matchup when Florida State came to town.
5 runs on 9 hits for the Sooners. Jordy Ball has allowed 2 hits. Here's the 1-0. A little bit low, 2-0, and for the second straight hitter, Jordy Ball falls behind. This was a scoreless game into the 4th. The Sooners put 3 on the board in the bottom of the 4th inning and haven't looked back since. 5-0 OU.
It almost felt early in this game that the Sooners didn't quite have their groove.
2-0 is high, ball 3.
And as this game has gone on, it hasn't been pretty at all times. I mean,
right.
In any facet. I mean, we've seen some rough at-bats. We've seen Jordy get behind in counts like we're seeing her do right here. We've seen a couple of errors. I mean, it has not been flawless by any sort of the word, but it has been a battle.
3 balls and no strikes. There's strike 1 to Dack. Katie Dack has been playing some for Florida State. I mean, on the season, Dack had been one of the regulars in their lineup. She had started 52 games. But in the NCAA tournament, Dack's only made 3 starts. Here's the 3-1. Ball 4. Dack didn't realize it was ball 4. Now she's off to first base.
You know a strike zone's a little tough when you've got a hitter standing in expecting a strike call and it gets called a ball. I feel like that's been a strike all day.
Pinch hitter here for, well, that's Hallie Waycaser. Oh, they're going to use a pinch runner, excuse me. And this is electricity on the base paths. She is one of the most impressive base runners I've seen. Amaya Ross. If this will be interesting, 5-zip to see if Florida State sends her. I don't know if they would. But here's Hallie Waycaser. First pitch from Jordy Ball. Runner isn't going, and there's strike 1. To give you an idea of how effective Amaya Ross is, 4 for 4 in stolen bases in the NCAA tournament. And on the season, she's 22 of 23 as their pinch runner.
That's a few.
Here's the 0-1 pitch from Jordy Ball. Ground ball back to Ball. That should do it. Throws to first. Ball game. Oklahoma is one win away from its third straight national championship. They suffocate the Seminoles on a night where things didn't start so well for the Sooners, but they finished with a bang. Final score in Oklahoma City: Sooners 5, Seminoles nothing.